The Strangeways prison officer, now behind bars himself after his hideous crimes have been uncovered. Now this horrible, horrible man, Ashley Houghton, his crimes are horrific. He is now sitting inside a prison himself. And guess what? His barrister tried to get him a more lenient sentence by saying he will have a hard time in prison because of his previous job as working as a prison officer. And he'll be bumping into people who he's seen inside a prison. And I can imagine what type of prison officer he would have been. When I tell you about his crimes, you can imagine the torture he's probably inflicted on the inmates. But he will obviously be on protection now. But even still, there'll be lads on protection, death heads, who will bump into him, who will know from his previous job. Now, there is some distressing details in this, so I'll just give a quick heads up before I get into it. But I'm going to go over, I've got a few different articles and I've put it together just so I don't miss anything out. But Ashley Houghton, he's 36-year-old. He met a little one. I've got to be careful with the words, as you well know on here. You've got to be careful the way you word things. But he met a little one online, a vulnerable girl, carved the initials of him onto parts of her body after being encouraged by the sadistic former prison officer. I can't say the word, sorry, the child, and pestered her to send videos of herself to satisfy his depraved desires. Houghton, who was also a father, so when he's doing these crimes online, obviously in his house, wherever, his children are in rooms next door. So he worked at HMP in Manchester, which obviously was formerly HMP Strangeways, while he was committing these crimes as well. So he's contacted the girl on social media app Discord. And this is another reason why people, if you have got little ones like myself, which I do regularly, please check up on their apps. Because all the kids, even 8, 9, 10-year-olds, they're on Snapchat, they're on Discord, they're on TikTok. Once a week, even once a month, get your child's phone and have a look through it. Because there's a lot of people, a lot of depraved people been doing this sort of shit. So she's obviously not been traced, this little one, but she's thought to live in the United States. So Houghton is one of the first people in the country to be prosecuted under the new offence of encouraging or assisting self-harm. So Bolton Crown Court heard the girl discussed I've got to be careful again, because when you say them words, I've done it before, YouTube will flag the video up and we'll not be able to see it. So I'll just say SH for what I've just mentioned. During online chats with Houghton from Atherton, Wigan, after she revealed she had cut herself, Houghton said he was oddly interested in seeing this and asked to see pictures of her wounds. Later in their chats, Houghton, who posed under the username Arthur Morris, encouraged the girl to carve his initials onto a sensitive part of her body. When she sent him a picture of the resulting self-harm, I've said it again, SH, Houghton replied, "I love it. Yes, it's so personal," and SEXY. He described her scars as cute. How fucking odd and weird is he? Encouraging that little one, who was obviously in a horrible state of mind, whatever's happening to her behind the scenes, why she's doing this to herself, why no one's getting onto it, or why she's obviously been very badly neglected wherever she is, whether she was in the US, wherever. And then this horrible, horrible man is doing this despicable deeds and encouraging her to do this and then saying that it's cute. What an absolute wrong'un. As the chats continued, the girl told Houghton that she had tried to asphyxiate herself. Even after this, his demand for sex content, was relentless, and he began to blackmail and threaten her if she refused to comply, warning that he would sell the intimate images she had sent him. Absolutely. When you read into these type of stories, like, you will not hear this on the mainstream media. The stories I bring you on here, they will not go into detail and they will not talk about on your normal mainstream media, as in Sky News, BBC News, any news broadcast channels. You will not hear the full stories like you're getting on here. So prosecuting James Cooper said Houghton only became aware that she was 14 towards the end of their 5-week period of chatting online, but a judge, well done to the judge on this occasion, but a judge said he'd known that she was of school age. Judge John Close told Houghton, "You encouraged her to scar her on buttocks with the initials of her own abuser. You did this even after being told she attempted to do away with herself. When you learned she was 40 and she was a kid, and in fact that she had recently tried to take her own life, you did not desist." What a fucking wrong'un. I help a lot of people, and I have helped a lot of people who have been on the brink of taking their own lives, and it is horrible. It is a detrimental. I mean, I've had the impact of my best friend doing it and finding him, which people will know from videos I've done previously. So this type of thing, if you see someone who's at risk of doing that to themselves and not coming back from it, you're going to help them. You're going to do what you can to help them, unless you're a fucking wrong bacon like this one. You're going to do what you can to help them. But this wrong'un, this man, men who have duty of care towards the little ones to help them, he's went and done the complete opposite and then blackmailed. Instead, he's blackmailed her for his own selfish and sadistic needs, knowing full well that the risks were significant and the consequences could have been fatal. This was deliberate, relentless and cruel. There was evidence of sadism in your offending. You are a dangerous offender. The risk of harm you pose to little ones is considerable. Absolutely it is. He should never be around little ones again. He should never be let out of fucking prison. Houghton was traced via his IP address after the girl made a report to Discord and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Kids in the US. When he was arrested, police seized his phone but found that any images or videos sent by the little one had been deleted. Houghton, previously of Dorset Road, Atherton, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of attempted communication with the little one, 1 count of encouraging or assisting serious SH, and attempting to cause the little one to engage in activity. Houghton was found to have been communicating with another little one who has not been traced to a lesser extent and seriousness than the other victim. But that's what I was going to say. He's been caught for this one. This is one he's been caught for. How many more has there been? How many more has there been before this? It obviously says here, they've obviously found it on his phone or whatever. He's been in contact with another one, another little one, who hasn't been traced. It infuriates me when I read shit like this about wrong'uns like that who are supposed to protect little ones. Prosecutors said the offences had been prosecuted as attempted crimes because the little ones who Houghton believed were real had not been traced. Defendant Richard Thomas, this is where I was on about at the beginning of the video, his defence, Richard Thomas, said the main thrust of Houghton's mitigation was his complete lack of previous convictions. There's no fucking mitigation in that whatsoever. The main thrust of his mitigation, complete lack of previous convictions, because he hasn't been caught for them more like it. He said that Horton had initially cooperated with police, providing his PIN number and answering questions in a police interview before he decided to answer no comment when he fucking found out he was caught in a subsequent interview. Horton has since lost everything, Mr. Thomas said, including his home, job and relationship. Boo-hoo. And so you should lose everything, you complete fucking loser. His family have turned their back on him. Well done to the family. The court heard. Mr. Thomas said, prison will be difficult and dangerous place for Horton to be, given his previous work as a prison officer. It doesn't matter if you're a prison officer or not, or previous work, because he was doing it whilst a prison officer. Doesn't matter whether you're a prison officer or not. When you're doing these type of crimes, prison's going to be difficult and dangerous for you anyways. So you can't try and use that as a mitigating factor to get a lesser fucking sentence. Judge Close sentenced Horton to an extended prison sentence, including 7.5-year prison term. He will serve 2/3 of that period before the parole board decides whether he is safe to be released. The judge also added an extended license period of 6 years after Horton is released. So hopefully he serves, because it's an extended sentence, 7.5-year prison term. He could serve the full lot if the parole board think that he's still a danger, which he will be. He is always going to be a danger. People like that, who have that type of fucking mindset, are absolute disgusting wrong'uns, and they will never ever change. So hopefully he ends up serving the full sentence. Then he's got 6 years on license when he's released. Hopefully in them 6 years when he gets released, probation do what they normally do with a lot of lads. I don't know if they do it with these type of prisons, but I know they do it with the likes of myself. When you're on probation, you get a hard time. Hopefully he gets recalled and he has to serve the full 6 years after that, because that's exactly what he deserves. Now you'll see his picture in the thumbnail. He looks like an absolute creep, an absolute wrong'un, which he is. Ashley Horton is in prison now. The prison officers in prison there now will also be looking down on him and giving him a hard time. So he will be suffering inside a prison, and rightly so. We don't want the likes of him having a good time inside a prison, which he'll not be. But we don't want the likes of him having a cushy time. We want him on protection. Well, we want him on normal location so we can get a bit of prison justice. But we want him to be on the wing that he's on, feeling vulnerable like he should be, like his victims were, and feeling as though he could be getting prison justice at any given moment. I'm going to leave that one there for now, people. Hopefully you are still enjoying the content, and if you are, you know the drill. Remember to comment, like and subscribe. Take care, people, but more importantly, stay safe, and do us a favour, check your little ones' phones.